I'm back. That wasn't too long. So, basically, all I've been doing lately is trying to get everything around and ready. I still have those quilts to do. I just don't have the energy to do them. Um, Probably will take, I'm thinking I'll probably take tomorrow off and not do anything. My computer has been going, it's at 86%. I don't know that it's gonna work again. I had, I used to show you that dimension clock I had that had the date and the time and the day, the date and the day and the time. And some of them even have whether it's morning or evening. That has not turned up. So I'm guessing that got broken. Nobody told me about it. So I haven't found that, but I found all kinds of other stuff that I thought was gone for good. So that's great. Just got one more wall to paint. Ceilings, I'm not even gonna worry about until after the new year because I can't do it all myself. I refuse to do it myself. So I'm going to wait until I can get some help. And then I got a wall back here kind of dedicated to my dad, who died he died of COVID before we knew COVID was here for the new people. He died on November 29th, 2019. And then we found out COVID hit about 2 weeks later, and he had died of pneumonia. So I'm pretty sure that's what he died of. We just didn't know it was here yet. And those of you that are new to the channel, that was the beginning of the end. It was one of those years, just a real quick for catch up for the people that didn't watch me back then. My dad died in November. His birthday's Christmas Eve. My children and I just went through Christmas as politely as we could. Oh, thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. And that kind of thing. When we got ready to leave, go back to school, my one son said, "This is the worst Christmas we've ever had." And I said, "Yes, it is." And so then in January, my middle son had to have 4 teeth pulled. He was getting ready to have braces put on. And that was in January of 2020. And I pulled him out of school, went and had his teeth pulled, came back home. He went downstairs in the basement to play the Xbox, and I stayed upstairs. And I kept hearing this noise. It sounded like something was hitting the window. So I had to go around my couch at that time in that house and go to my bedroom. I still have my dementia shirt on. I don't have dementia. Right? And so I went back, and the closer I got to my room, the louder the noise got. So I got in there, and it sounded like this bird was just headbutting my window, like you couldn't believe. So I thought, well, I better open the curtains and scare it off. And I opened up the curtains, and the house was on fire. So I ran and yelled at Randy down in the basement that the house was on fire. He tore up the stairs. He grabbed a fire extinguisher and 2 fire extinguishers and went out there and started trying to put it out. I tried to get the animals out, call 911. They didn't come. And so he had taken the hose and was trying to spray the outside of the house because it started on the outside of the house because of a faulty light. And so a state trooper that we lived in the country, a state trooper that lived kind of like down a mile as the crow flies from our house, heard the call, and he came around, and parked car, ran up and saw that the hose was twisted around the porch, so he untwisted it real fast, and then he finished putting the fire out. And finally, the fire trucks came. It's hard to do these because I do get interrupted here a lot. So anyway, meanwhile, at the ranch, got the fire put out, and then I went and lit the firemen leave until they made sure that it wasn't up in the attic or on the roof, and it was fine. So then I had to text my other two boys so that they wouldn't come home on the bus and find that the house had burned. And luckily, we got it fixed fairly easy because it wasn't very old, and the people that built it still had extra parts, and so they were able to put it back together, and you couldn't tell that anything had ever happened. Had to replace windows, though. The windows busted out of it, and it would have engulfed my room. I mean, we hadn't been home 20 minutes. Then I went down and started working on my dad's house, and one day I was there, and the realtor came to the house, and she said, we're going to have to stop because they're getting ready to close the roads because of COVID. They're shutting everything down, and they don't want anybody out, and they're going to declare martial law, and you can't be out on the roads. So I was like, you're kidding me. We got it in the middle of getting his home. I mean, the man saved his electric bills from the 1970s. It was not an easy task cleaning this place up. So I went, it's a 2-hour drive. So I went back to where I lived. And sure enough, they closed everything down. Schools closed. Everybody closed. My kids, two of the three, got on substances that they didn't need to be on. I could not get them help. There is no help for those situations, at least in Indiana. I could not get any help. And the excuses I got most of the time, well, we can't do that now because of COVID. Well, I tell you what, COVID my hair started falling out. The stress level was so bad, and I spent half the time on YouTube crying. I'm not crying now. They're all grown. It all turned out okay. But, it was one of those years. It was just like, and you check off those stress charts, check every box, because it was awful. Well, in 2021, my youngest and I moved down here to Arkansas to be closer to family and to get away from the people that I had the little private message to earlier. And so, or at least one of them. And so things have been going pretty quiet while we're here, and we had a family therapist that told me that if I sent the boys away, that I would never get them back. I did. We've all kissed and made up. They understand why I had to send them away, and I apologize for having to send them away, but we had no choice. My hands were tied, and I had a little one to worry about at the time. He's not little anymore, but he was little at the time. And so we moved down here, got my kids, we all kind of made up. We got everybody going. Kids grew up, went on their jobs, found partners and that kind of stuff, except for the youngest, who's 17 and still in school. Down here with the family, everything. Go to Indiana probably 3 or 4 times a year to see everybody and just to get my Hoosier fix, as I like to say. And so the last 2 times I've been down there, I have talked to at least one on the time before last that I was up there. I spoke with the one that I think gave out the information of the address. The second time I went down there is when the other one that I don't trust, I don't trust the first one either. He didn't come right out, and he's playing me, but he's not very good at playing people, so he's not winning. But the other ones, I was walking and I was meeting my other kids, and I was looking for them, and I saw them. And they just had... And the rage in me was unbelievable. I didn't know I had that rage in me. And I kept thinking, just keep walking. Just keep walking, because otherwise you're going to get arrested. They're going to arrest you, Lisa, so keep walking. And so I did. I kept walking. And so, because of that envelope showing up with that name on it, at this address, I think they're playing us now. I really do. I don't know, because the malicious stuff is happening now. You know, like locking the chickens up, they can't get water, or open it up so the fox can get into the coop, or leaving nails sticking straight up on purpose to punch tires, putting aerosol canisters in the fire pit so that people can catch on fire and burn. Things being gone through and stolen. This is not the MO of the first person. This very much is the MO of the second person. And I tell you, if you're watching, don't try me. I don't have patience for you. And I won't take care of it myself. If I do take care of it myself, I'll pull you through the threshold. But I'm not losing any hair over this. I probably shouldn't even post this, but I'm going to post it anyway. Because there are questions. I might put it up as 2 parts, because it's incredibly long. So, anyway, live life to the fullest. Live life with no regrets. And today's color is... Oh, let's pick a different color. We haven't had it. Orange. Orange this time. Okay. With that, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.